They'll chase you like crazy ink, even if they walked away. Soulmate manifestation. Have you ever wondered why some people seem impossible to forget? Why, no matter how far they run, how much time passes, or how many distractions enter their lives, they keep thinking about one person? What if I told you that the secret has very little to do with forcing, convincing, begging, or chasing, and everything to do with the energy you embody within yourself? Today, we're going to uncover one of the most powerful truths about soulmate manifestation. The moment you stop chasing love is often the moment love begins chasing you. This may sound strange in a world that teaches us to pursue, persuade, and fight for attention. But the deepest laws of attraction work differently. They respond not to desperation but to certainty, not to neediness but to inner fulfillment, not to fear but to faith. Many people believe that when someone walks away, the story is over. They see distance as rejection, silence as failure, and separation as proof that love was never meant to be. But what if that isn't true? What if the person who left is not the final chapter, but merely a scene in a much bigger story? What if the very energy that pushed them away can be transformed into the energy that pulls them back? The truth is that every relationship is first created in consciousness. Before someone chooses you in the physical world, there is an inner choice that must be made. Before they prioritize you, you must learn to prioritize yourself. Before they see your value, you must recognize it within your own heart. The outer world is often reflecting what has been happening in your inner world all along. Imagine becoming so secure in your worth, so confident in your identity, and so aligned with the feeling of being loved that you no longer need anyone to validate you. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you are already chosen, already enough, already worthy of extraordinary love. That kind of energy is magnetic. It cannot be ignored. It naturally draws people toward you because it reflects the very qualities most people spend their lives searching for. In this speech, we will explore why soulmate connections are often stronger than appearances suggest, why separation does not necessarily mean loss, and how transforming your self-concept can completely change the dynamics of your relationships. You'll discover how to release attachment, embody your highest self, and become the version of you that naturally attracts devotion, commitment, and genuine affection, because the goal is not to make someone chase you. The goal is to become so aligned with your own value that chasing becomes unnecessary. And when that transformation occurs, something remarkable happens. The people who once overlooked you begin noticing you. The people who walked away begin remembering you. And the love you were searching for begins finding its way back to you. So, open your mind, open your heart, and prepare to see soulmate manifestation from an entirely new perspective. What you're about to learn could change the way you think about love, attraction, and your own power forever. Stop chasing. Start becoming. One of the greatest misunderstandings about love and soulmate manifestation is the belief that the more you chase someone, the more likely they are to choose you. Many people spend countless hours analyzing messages, checking social media, replaying conversations, and wondering what they can do to make someone return. They convince themselves that if they say the right words, act the right way, or prove their worth strongly enough, they will finally receive the love they desire. Yet, more often than not, this approach creates the very outcome they fear. The reason is simple. When you chase from a place of lack, you reinforce the belief that something important is missing from your life. Your energy becomes focused on absence rather than fulfillment. You begin to see yourself as someone who is waiting to be chosen instead of someone who is already worthy of being chosen. Soulmate manifestation begins the moment you understand that your power does not come from pursuing another person. It comes from becoming the version of yourself who naturally attracts the relationship you desire. Think about the energy of someone who feels complete within themselves. They are not constantly worried about being abandoned. They do not spend their days wondering if they are enough. They are not trying to earn love because they already believe they deserve it. This inner confidence creates a magnetic presence that others can feel. People are naturally drawn toward individuals who know their value Because confidence communicates certainty. When you truly believe you are worthy of love, respect, commitment, and devotion, your actions begin to reflect that belief. You stop settling for crumbs. You stop accepting mixed signals. You stop lowering your standards to keep someone's attention. Instead, you carry yourself with quiet assurance, knowing that what belongs to you will find its way to you. Many people make the mistake of placing their soulmate on a pedestal. They treat the other person as if they possess something special that they themselves lack. They believe happiness exists on the other side of a text message, a phone call, or a relationship status change. But this perspective creates imbalance. The moment you place another person above yourself, you unconsciously diminish your own value. You begin seeking validation outside yourself instead of cultivating it within. True manifestation requires reversing this pattern. It requires recognizing that the qualities you admire in another person can only be fully experienced when you first acknowledge your own worth. The love you seek is not something that someone else controls. It is a state of consciousness that begins within you. When people walk away, the immediate reaction is often panic. The mind starts creating stories about rejection, loss, and failure. But what if the departure of another person was actually an invitation to reconnect with yourself? What if the separation was not happening to punish you, but to remind you of your own power? Sometimes life removes distractions so that you can focus on becoming the person you were always meant to be, instead of asking, how do I get them back? A more powerful question is, who do I need to become? This shift changes everything. Suddenly, your attention moves away from controlling another person and toward transforming your own consciousness. Becoming does not mean pretending to be someone else. It means uncovering the most confident, secure, loving, and empowered version of yourself. It means waking up each day with the intention of embodying the qualities you wish to experience in your relationships. If you desire loyalty, become loyal to your dreams and commitments. If you desire appreciation, start appreciating yourself. If you desire deep love, learn to treat yourself with kindness, patience, and compassion. The outer world often mirrors the inner world. As you change your relationship with yourself, your relationships with others begin to transform as well. There is a powerful truth that many people overlook. Attraction is often strongest when there is no desperation attached to it. When you are no longer trying to force outcomes, your energy becomes lighter, freer, and more attractive. You stop operating from fear and start operating from faith. You trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. You trust that your soulmate connection is not dependent on constant effort, manipulation, or control. Instead, you understand that genuine love flows naturally toward alignment. The most beautiful part of this journey is that the moment you stop chasing, you begin reclaiming your power. You realize that your happiness is not waiting in another person's hands. Your worth is not determined by their choices. Your future is not dependent on their approval. You become the source of the love, confidence, and fulfillment you once searched for in others. And as you continue to embody this elevated version of yourself, something extraordinary happens. The energy shifts. People notice. Opportunities appear. Relationships change. Sometimes the very person who walked away begins to see you differently because you are no longer the same person they left behind. The secret of soulmate manifestation is not learning how to make someone choose you. The secret is becoming the version of yourself who knows they are already chosen. When that belief takes root in your heart, your entire reality begins to reflect it. You stop chasing love, and instead, you become the kind of person that love naturally seeks. That is where true transformation begins, and that is where the magic of manifestation comes alive. Your energy speaks louder than words. One of the most powerful truths about soulmate manifestation is that people do not respond only to what you say. They respond to who you are being. Long before words are spoken, messages are sent, or actions are taken, energy is already communicating on your behalf. This is why two people can say the exact same thing and receive completely different responses. One person may express affection and be warmly embraced, while another expresses the same affection and is met with resistance. The difference is often not in the words themselves, but in the energy behind them. Energy carries intention, belief, expectation, and emotion. It reveals whether you are operating from confidence or insecurity, abundance or lack, faith or fear. When it comes to soulmate manifestation, understanding this principle can completely transform the way you approach love and relationships. Many people focus almost entirely on external actions. They wonder what text message to send, what technique to use, what conversation to have, or what strategy will make someone think about them. While actions have their place, they are not the foundation of attraction. The foundation is the energy that fuels those actions. If you send a message while feeling desperate, needy, or fearful, that emotional state influences the energy you project. Even if the words appear calm on the surface, the underlying vibration remains. On the other hand, when you communicate from a place of confidence, peace, and self-assurance, that energy naturally creates a different response. The outer action may look similar, but the inner state is entirely different. Think about the times in your life when you felt your most confident. During those moments, you were probably not obsessing over what other people thought of you. You were not constantly seeking approval or validation. You felt comfortable in your own skin. You trusted yourself. You believed in your value. That confidence created a natural magnetism that others could sense. People are often attracted to certainty because certainty feels safe, powerful, and inspiring. When you know your worth, you unconsciously give others permission to recognize it as well. This is why soulmate manifestation begins with internal alignment rather than external pursuit. If you constantly tell yourself that your happiness depends on another person returning, choosing you, or committing to you, you place yourself in a state of emotional dependency. Your energy becomes focused on what is missing. Every day becomes a reminder of what you do not yet have. But manifestation works differently. It asks you to shift your focus from absence to presence. Instead of feeling like someone who is waiting to be loved, begin feeling like someone who is already worthy of extraordinary love. Instead of seeing yourself as incomplete, start recognizing the completeness that already exists within you. Energy is not about pretending that everything is perfect. It is not about forcing positive thoughts while secretly feeling hopeless inside. Genuine energetic alignment comes from developing a deeper belief in your own value regardless of current circumstances. It means understanding that your worth does not rise and fall based on someone else's behavior. Whether a person texts you back immediately or not, your value remains unchanged. Whether someone stays or leaves, your worth remains intact. This realization creates emotional freedom, and emotional freedom is incredibly attractive. Many soulmate connections become blocked, not because love is absent, but because fear becomes louder than love. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being forgotten, and fear of not being enough can dominate the mind. These fears create resistance because they keep attention focused on unwanted outcomes. The more attention you give to fear, the more real it appears. But when you begin nurturing thoughts of confidence, trust, and certainty, your energy starts shifting in a new direction. You no longer expect disappointment. You begin expecting positive outcomes. You stop preparing for rejection and start preparing for alignment. Imagine waking up every morning feeling secure in the knowledge that you are lovable, valuable, and unforgettable. Imagine carrying yourself with the quiet confidence that the right person will recognize your worth. Imagine releasing the need to force, control, or manipulate situations because you trust the unfolding of your journey. This type of energy changes how you speak, how you think, how you walk, and how you interact with the world. It creates an invisible magnetism that often draws people closer without effort. What makes energy so powerful is that it influences every aspect of your reality. The way you see yourself affects the way you interpret events. The way you interpret events affects your emotions. Your emotions affect your actions, and your actions contribute to the experiences you create. Everything begins with your inner state. That is why the most successful manifestations are not born from constant striving, but from inner transformation. They emerge when a person becomes aligned with the feeling of already being loved, already being chosen, and already being worthy. The truth is that your soulmate is not only responding to your words, your appearance, or your actions. On a deeper level, they are responding to the energy you embody. When your energy reflects confidence, self-love, and certainty, you naturally become more magnetic. You stop trying to convince people of your value because you already know it. You stop chasing validation because you already possess it within yourself. And as this transformation unfolds, the world begins responding differently. Opportunities arise, connections deepen, and sometimes the very person who once walked away feels drawn back toward the powerful energy you now radiate. Your energy speaks before you ever say a word, and when that energy is aligned with love, abundance, and self-worth, it becomes one of the strongest forces in soulmate manifestation. Why they walked away was never the end. One of the most painful experiences in any soulmate journey is watching someone you deeply care about walk away. In that moment, it can feel as though everything you hoped for has disappeared. The mind immediately begins creating stories. You tell yourself that the connection is over, that you were not enough, that they found someone better, or that the future you imagined will never happen. The heart interprets distance as rejection and silence as finality. Yet many of the greatest love stories begin with a period of separation. What appears to be an ending is often a chapter of transformation. In soulmate manifestation, one of the most important lessons you can learn is that someone walking away does not automatically mean the connection is lost. Sometimes it simply means that growth must occur before alignment can take place. Most people view separation through the lens of fear. They focus on what they have lost rather than what they can gain from the experience. Fear magnifies every negative possibility. It convinces you that the absence of evidence is evidence of absence. If they are not calling, fear says they have forgotten you. If they are not reaching out, fear says they no longer care. If they are moving in a different direction, fear says the story is over. But fear rarely tells the whole truth. The reality is that every person is on their own journey of growth, healing, and self-discovery. Sometimes people walk away not because the connection lacks value, but because they are not yet ready to fully receive it. Think about how often people sabotage things they truly want because of unresolved fears, limiting beliefs, or emotional wounds. Someone can deeply care about another person and still feel unprepared for commitment. They can recognize a powerful connection and still run from it because it forces them to confront parts of themselves they are not ready to face. Human behavior is complex. Not every departure is a reflection of your worth. Sometimes it is a reflection of their internal struggles. Understanding this truth can help you release the burden of taking every separation personally. One of the greatest mistakes people make after someone leaves is placing their entire life on hold. They stop growing, they stop dreaming, they stop investing in themselves because they become consumed by waiting. Every day revolves around wondering what the other person is doing, thinking, or feeling. This creates a state of emotional stagnation. Instead of moving forward, they remain trapped in the energy of loss. But soulmate manifestation requires movement, it requires expansion, it requires becoming more of who you are, not less. The period after a separation is often the exact time when your greatest transformation can occur if you choose to embrace it. Imagine two people standing on opposite sides of a river. They care deeply about each other, but neither has built the bridge necessary to cross. One may need to heal old wounds, the other may need to develop self-worth. One may need to learn trust, the other may need to release fear. Until those lessons are learned, the bridge remains incomplete. The separation is not punishment, it is preparation. Life often creates distance so that growth can happen. When the necessary changes occur, the possibility of reconnection becomes stronger because both individuals are operating from a higher level of awareness. This is why your focus should never be on forcing someone back into your life. Force creates resistance, desperation creates pressure, control creates imbalance. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Use the separation as an opportunity to strengthen your confidence, deepen your self-love, and clarify your vision for the future. Every challenge contains a hidden invitation. Every ending contains the seed of a new beginning. The question is whether you will allow the experience to break you or transform you. Many people are surprised to discover that the moment they stop obsessing over someone is often the moment the energy begins to shift. This happens because they are no longer operating from fear and lack. They are no longer chasing. They are no longer sending out the message that their happiness depends on another person's actions. Instead, they become grounded in their own value. They reclaim their power. They start creating a fulfilling life, regardless of external circumstances. This energy is incredibly attractive because it reflects emotional strength and inner stability. The soulmate journey is not about convincing someone to love you. It is about aligning yourself with the truth that you are already worthy of love. When someone walks away, it does not diminish your value. It does not erase your future. It does not determine your destiny. In many cases, it simply marks the beginning of a deeper lesson. Sometimes people leave so you can discover your strength. Sometimes they leave so you can develop the confidence you previously lacked. Sometimes they leave because both of you need time to grow into the versions of yourselves capable of sustaining the relationship you truly desire. So if someone has walked away, do not automatically assume the story is finished. The end of a chapter is not the end of the book. Life has a remarkable way of bringing people opportunities and blessings together when the timing is right and alignment is complete. Your task is not to live in fear of the separation. Your task is to use it as fuel for your evolution. Become stronger, become wiser, become more aligned with your worth. Because when you do, you may discover that what once felt like an ending was actually the beginning of something far greater than you ever imagined. Live as the version of you that is already chosen. One of the most transformative principles in soulmate manifestation is learning to live as the version of yourself that is already chosen. Most people approach manifestation from the opposite direction. They believe that once they receive the relationship, the commitment, the text message, or the declaration of love, they will finally feel confident, secure, and worthy. In other words, they wait for the external world to give them permission to feel good about themselves. But true manifestation works in reverse. The feelings, beliefs, and assumptions you cultivate within yourself become the foundation upon which your outer reality is built. Instead of waiting to be chosen so you can feel worthy, you begin feeling worthy now. Instead of waiting for someone to love you so you can feel lovable, you embrace the identity of being lovable before any physical evidence appears. This shift changes everything. Think about the difference between someone who believes they are worthy of love and someone who constantly doubts their value. The person who feels worthy approaches life differently. They do not spend every moment searching for signs of rejection. They do not interpret every delay as abandonment or every silence as proof that they are unwanted. Their sense of self is not dependent on external validation. They trust their value regardless of what is happening around them. This confidence influences their thoughts, emotions, decisions, and interactions. They naturally attract healthier experiences because they expect to be treated with respect, care, and appreciation. Many people unknowingly create resistance in their manifestation journey because they remain emotionally attached to the identity of someone who has been rejected, abandoned, or overlooked. They continue telling the old story. They replay painful memories. They focus on what went wrong. Every day they remind themselves of the reasons they believe they are not chosen. As a result, they keep reinforcing the very state they want to escape. The mind accepts repeated thoughts as truth. If you constantly identify with disappointment, you continue experiencing life through the lens of disappointment. This is why changing your self-concept is so important. You cannot consistently create a new reality while remaining emotionally attached to an old identity. Living as the version of yourself that is already chosen does not mean pretending reality does not exist. It does not mean denying your feelings or ignoring challenges. It means consciously choosing a new perspective. It means deciding that your worth is not determined by temporary circumstances. You begin asking yourself powerful questions. How would I think if I knew I was deeply loved? How would I speak if I felt completely confident? How would I carry myself if I believed I was the most valuable person in the room? These questions help you step into a new identity, one that is aligned with the future you desire. Imagine waking up every morning with the certainty that you are already enough. You do not need to earn love because you are worthy of it by your very nature. You do not need to compete for attention because your value is not determined by comparison. You do not need to chase someone because you trust that what is meant for you will naturally align with you. This mindset creates a profound sense of peace. Instead of operating from fear, you operate from confidence. Instead of reacting to every external event, you remain rooted in your inner truth. One of the most powerful aspects of this transformation is that it changes the way you respond to challenges. When you identify as someone who is already chosen, setbacks lose their power to define you. A delayed message no longer ruins your day. A temporary separation no longer convinces you that love is impossible. You understand that circumstances are temporary, but your value is permanent. This emotional stability is incredibly attractive because it reflects maturity, confidence, and self-respect. The truth is that people often mirror the energy and expectations you hold about yourself. If you secretly believe you are unworthy, you may tolerate treatment that reflects that belief. If you believe you must struggle to receive love, you may unconsciously attract relationships filled with uncertainty and confusion. But when you genuinely see yourself as someone who deserves healthy, fulfilling, and committed love, your standards begin to rise. You become less willing to settle for situations that do not align with your worth. This shift naturally changes the quality of the relationships you attract. Living as the version of yourself that is already chosen also means focusing on creating a fulfilling life beyond romance. You pursue your goals, you invest in your personal growth, you nurture your passions, you develop a sense of purpose that exists independently of any relationship. This does not push love away, it actually strengthens your magnetism. People are drawn to individuals who radiate fulfillment because fulfillment signals abundance rather than lack. When you are genuinely happy with yourself and your life, you stop placing impossible expectations on others to complete you. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this journey is realizing that being chosen is not something another person gives you. It is something you first give yourself. The moment you choose yourself, respect yourself, and honor your own worth, you begin sending a powerful message to the universe. You declare that you are no longer willing to see yourself through the lens of limitation. You step into the identity of someone who is valuable, lovable, and deserving of extraordinary experiences. As you continue living from this state, your outer reality begins reflecting the transformation taking place within. Opportunities appear, relationships improve, confidence grows, and sometimes the very people who once overlooked you begin to recognize the value that was there all along. Not because you forced them to see it, but because you finally saw it yourself. That is the power of living as the version of you that is already chosen. It is not an act of pretending, it is an act of becoming. And once you fully embrace that identity, your entire world begins to change. The soulmate mirror effect, one of the deepest and most life-changing truths about soulmate manifestation, is understanding what can be called the soulmate mirror effect. This principle suggests that the relationships you experience often reflect the beliefs, assumptions, emotions, and expectations you consistently hold within yourself. While it may seem that other people are acting independently of your inner world, the quality of your relationships is frequently influenced by the way you see yourself, the way you define love, and the stories you repeatedly tell about your worth. This does not mean you control every action another person takes. Rather, it means that your inner state plays a powerful role in shaping the experiences you attract, allow, and sustain. When you truly understand this principle, you stop viewing relationships as random events and begin seeing them as mirrors revealing what is happening inside you. Many people spend years trying to change other people. They want someone to communicate better, show more affection, become more committed, or finally recognize their value. They focus their attention entirely on the other person, believing that happiness will arrive once someone else's behavior changes. But the soulmate mirror effect invites you to look in a different direction. Instead of asking, why are they acting this way? It encourages you to ask, what beliefs within me might this experience be reflecting? This question is not meant to create guilt or self-blame. It is meant to create awareness. Awareness is powerful because it gives you the ability to transform your reality from the inside out. Imagine looking into a mirror and noticing that your reflection appears unhappy. You would not attempt to fix the reflection directly because you understand that the image is responding to you. You would change your expression and the reflection would naturally follow. Relationships often operate in a similar way. If you constantly believe that love is difficult, relationships are unstable, or people always leave, those assumptions can influence the experiences you create. You may unknowingly expect disappointment, tolerate inconsistency, or interpret situations through a lens of fear. The outer experience then appears to confirm the inner belief, creating a cycle that repeats itself. This is why self-concept is such an important part of soulmate manifestation. Your self-concept is the collection of beliefs you hold about who you are and what you deserve. If deep down you believe you are not enough, you may find yourself seeking constant reassurance from others. If you believe you must earn love through sacrifice and struggle, you may attract relationships that require endless effort. If you believe you are easily forgotten, you may become overly sensitive to signs of distance or silence. These patterns are not punishments. They are opportunities for awareness. They reveal areas where healing and growth can occur. The beautiful thing about the soulmate mirror effect is that it works in positive ways as well. As your self-worth improves, your relationships often improve. As you become more confident, you naturally attract healthier interactions. As you learn to love and respect yourself, you become less willing to accept treatment that falls below your standards. The mirror begins reflecting a different image, because the person standing in front of it has changed. This is why personal transformation is often the fastest path to relationship transformation. Many soulmate journeys include periods of emotional challenge because those challenges reveal hidden beliefs that need attention. Perhaps a separation exposes a fear of abandonment. Perhaps a misunderstanding reveals a fear of being misunderstood or unappreciated. Perhaps uncertainty uncovers a lack of trust in yourself or in life. While these experiences can be painful, they also provide valuable information. They show you where healing is needed. They highlight the beliefs that may be limiting your ability to experience the love you truly desire. One of the most empowering decisions you can make is to stop identifying with old stories. You are not defined by past heartbreaks, disappointments, or rejections. Those experiences may have shaped parts of your journey, but they do not determine your future. Every day offers an opportunity to create a new assumption about yourself and your relationships. You can begin seeing yourself as someone who is deeply loved, highly valued, and naturally chosen. You can start expecting loyalty instead of betrayal, consistency instead of confusion, and connection instead of separation. As these assumptions become stronger, they influence the energy you bring into every interaction. The soulmate mirror effect also teaches the importance of self-love. Self-love is not arrogance or selfishness. It is the recognition that your value exists independently of external validation. It is treating yourself with kindness, respect, and compassion. It is understanding that you deserve healthy relationships, not because you are perfect, but because you are inherently worthy. When you cultivate this level of self-respect, you stop looking to others to complete you. Instead, you approach relationships from a place of wholeness. You share love rather than seek it from a place of emptiness. As you continue growing, healing, and strengthening your self-concept, the mirror begins to change. The people you attract change. The dynamics you experience change. The quality of your relationships changes. You become a magnet for experiences that align with your new identity. And sometimes the soulmate connection you have been seeking begins to unfold in ways you never expected. Not because you forced it, manipulated it, or chased it into existence, but because you transformed the image within yourself. The ultimate lesson of the soulmate mirror effect is simple yet profound. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. When you heal within, love begins to heal around you. When you choose yourself, life responds differently. When you recognize your worth, the world starts reflecting that worth back to you. And as this transformation continues, you discover that the soulmate you were searching for was never meant to complete you. They were meant to reflect the love, confidence, and wholeness you finally found within yourself.